It takes a lot more than brandishing a pretend machete at a clumsy babysitter to be a movie monster. It's time to take a break from the gore and take a closer look at the individuals behind the masks of our favorite horror movie villains. When you find out who's behind these well-known movie creatures, you'll be astounded. The real-life characters behind the masks of some of our best and most renowned movie villains will be featured on this list. Number 10. The Creeper, played by Jonathan Breck. Jeepers Creepers introduced horror fans to the Creeper, a horror movie creature with a unique backstory. Every 23 years, it awakens for exactly 23 days from hibernation. It consumes human body parts for the next 23 days. Its body is formed by the components it consumes. Is anyone starving? That notion, as terrifying as it is, would be useless if it wasn't delivered by a skilled actor. Jonathan Breck is fortunately on the Creeper's side. In all three Jeepers Creepers movies, Breck portrays the Creeper. He hasn't done much work outside of the franchise, therefore this is by far his most well-known role. Breck may not be a household name, but will always be delighted, or perhaps horrified, to see him dressed up as the Creeper. Number 9. Kevin Peter Hall portrays the Predator. In the 1987 Arnold film of the same name, Jean-Claude Van Damme was cast to play the Predator. Unfortunately, despite how awesome it would have been if the Predator had kung fu skills, the bulked-up appearance of lead Arnold Schwarzenegger and the rest of the ensemble made JCVD seem simply too little for the part. Thankfully, all of that was scrapped in favor of Kevin Peter Hall, who previously played in Harry and the Hendersons as the towering title character. You're going to want your movie monster to be a giant, not just the muscles from Brussels. When you've got guys like Jesse, the Body Ventura, and Apollo Creed himself, Carl Weathers, roaming around a jungle. Number 8. Pinhead Cenobite, played by Doug Bradley. Despite the fact that the primary Cenobite in Clive Barker's novel The Hellbound Heart was not given the name Pinhead, the character's striking appearance gained him the moniker, which stuck throughout the Hellraiser series. Doug Bradley, an English actor, has been associated with the soul-harvesting Pinhead since The Hellbound Heart was made into the first Hellraiser movie in 1987. Bradley is one of a select group of horror actors who have reprised their iconic roles at least 6 times, joining Tobin Bell as Jigsaw, Warwick Davis as Leprechaun, Brad Dourif as Chucky, Christopher Lee as Dracula, and Robert Englund as Freddy Krueger. Though he has a tumultuous relationship with the franchise, Bradley declined to reprise his role in 2011's Hellraiser, Revelations, and the series appears to have moved on without him. Hellraiser Judgment was the second installment to feature a different actor behind the mask. Even so, he'll always remain Pinhead to us, and we have to believe that the majority of series fans feel the same way. Number 7. Tom Woodruff Jr. plays Pumpkinhead. Although he may not be on the same level as Freddy and Jason in terms of fright power, the titular creature from Pumpkinhead is no slouch. Pumpkinhead, a demonic corpse animated by witches, was created by special effects artist Stan Winston and starred in Winston's original film, as well as a series of sequels and comic books. He's a terrible creature who looks like a cross between a xenomorph and a goblin, and he's played superbly by Tom Woodruff Jr. It's no surprise that Woodruff is a natural fit for the part. Acting under all of those prosthetics necessitates a thorough understanding of how they function, which Woodruff possesses thanks to his impressive track record as an effects artist. While Woodruff has acted in a variety of television episodes, short films, and feature films, often in unnamed, uncredited roles, his greatest claim to fame is in special effects. He started Amalgamated Dynamics with his classmate Alec Ginnies after studying under Winston. Amalgamated Dynamics has now gone on to work on everything from Alien sequels to superhero blockbusters like Sam Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy and X-Men: First Class. Number 6. Balaji Badijo in the role of the Alien. Alien, directed by Ridley Scott, revolutionized the science fiction and horror film genres in 1979. No one knew who would play the film's titular monster when it was first announced. Ridley Scott was eventually introduced to Balaji Badijo, a Nigerian design student. Badijo's slender, lanky build and near 7-foot-tall height would help persuade spectators that the monster of the picture couldn't just be a guy in a suit, as numerous monster movies have demonstrated over the years. Even though Badijo only played the alien in the first film in the genre, he created a lasting effect, especially because James Cameron's monsters included scores of xenomorphs, and subsequent sequels relied heavily on puppetry and CGI to portray their aliens. Badijo's extraterrestrial is only a bodysuit, but it is highly dangerous. He ended up doing an incredible job in helping to sell the illusion, and the xenomorph went on to become one of Hollywood's most iconic sci-fi monsters. Unfortunately, Benijo's alien legacy would survive him. He died in 1992 at the age of 39 after being diagnosed with sickle cell illness. Number 5. Nick Castle's portrayal of Michael Myers. With the iconic entrance of the film's lumbering, silent, insane villain and future franchise star, Michael Myers, John Carpenter's low-budget 1978 slasher classic Halloween helped pave the way for bad men like Jason Voorhees, Freddy Krueger, and Ghostface. Castle was mimicked by countless horror villains, including some of the actors on this list, for years after donning the mask in the first film. He went on to have a varied career, co-writing Carpenter's dystopian action film Escape from New York, assisting Steven Spielberg with the concept for Hook, and directing The Last Starfighter and The Boy Who Could Fly, among others. Castle returned to his role as Michael Myers in the 2018 Halloween sequel, 40 years after making horror history. Number 4. Tim Curry portrays Pennywise. No offense to our white and red paint-wearing readers, but clowns make us uncomfortable. It's a prevalent phobia, and a lot of it can be credited to the 1990 made-for-TV miniseries It for a generation of horror movie enthusiasts. Pennywise the Dancing Clown, played by Tim Curry, was one of this wicked being's favorite forms. Its real form was later revealed as some kind of ginormous spider or something. Curry was best recognized for his roles as the Lord of Darkness in Legend and Dr. Frankenfurter in the Rocky Horror Picture Show at this time in his career. While it was a stinker due to ABC TV limits, overall awful acting, and ignoring the book's greatest parts, Curry's fascinating performance was the miniseries' saving grace. In the 2017 big screen rendition of it, Bill Skarsgård was terrifying in his own right, but we're paying homage to the original deer. Number 3. Tim Purcell's plays the Babadook. The titular malevolent spirit is the most disturbing image in the famous 2014 horror film The Babadook, despite only appearing in the film for a portion of its runtime. It's no surprise that the character has become a modern horror symbol, what with his painfully pale skin, tarnished teeth, and disturbing attire. The fact that the man behind the Babadook mask isn't someone viewers are likely to identify adds to the character's legitimacy as a terrifying threat. Tim Purcell, who worked on the film as an art department assistant and prop maker, wore the makeup and outfit for the character. Purcell hasn't been listed as an actor since, with the Babadook reportedly being his only film appearance. While it would be fantastic to see him apply the menace he instills in the character to other roles, there is something to be said for focusing on one flawless job and then riding off into the sunset. Number 2. Robert Englund plays in Freddy Krueger. On this list, we simply had to include the man of your dreams. Even if we like Jackie Earle Haley's performance in the Nightmare on Elm Street remake, only one name comes to mind when we think of horror movies: Robert Englund. Englund wore the glove for nearly 2 decades, appearing in 8 films as Freddy Krueger, and even having his own anthology horror series, Freddy's Nightmares. Sure, Freddy's humor and silliness improved over time, but Wes Craven's New Nightmare was a welcome return to form for the supernatural slasher. We can only hope that Englund dons the fedora, sweater, and bladed glove for one last walk down Elm Street. Number 1. Doug Jones portrays the Pale Man. In Guillermo del Toro's masterpiece, Pan's Labyrinth, a number of terrifying, one-of-a-kind monsters appear, but none, pardon the pun, compare to the Pale Man, who stands out as the film's most memorable image, his spindly limbs and eyes embedded in the palms of his hands, creating a truly striking, haunting visage. As it turns out, the man behind the mask is someone most moviegoers are likely familiar with, even if they aren't aware of it. Doug Jones is the most well-known creature actor in Hollywood, having played a wide range of monsters, mutants, and everything in between, while donning heavy prosthetics. He's a frequent collaborator of Pan's Labyrinth filmmaker Del Toro, often playing various roles. In Pan's Labyrinth, he's also the Faun. Nobody does it better than Jones when it comes to aliens, ghouls, and legendary monsters. Even if we don't recognize him at the time, it's always a treat to watch him appear in a film. That's all we had for today. Hope you enjoy the show. If so, kindly subscribe to our channel by clicking on the subscribe button below. Also, consider clicking the notification button so as to be notified when we drop our new videos. Bye. See you in the next video.